My name is Jennifer. I'm 39 years old, and I've worked as a cleaner for almost 20 years. It wasn't the job I had imagined for myself, but it was the job I needed. When my mother became very sick, I had to drop out of school to take care of her. I couldn't leave her, so I found a job that let me stay close. Cleaning office buildings seemed like the only option, and I ended up sticking with it. Despite everything, I'm thankful for the steady job that kept us going. Over time, I grew to enjoy the work. It wasn't fancy, but it paid the bills, and I did it well. My older coworkers treated me like family, calling me Jenny. They knew about my situation and supported me when I was going through tough times. After my mom passed away when I was 25, I had to step up even more for my younger sister. I worked hard to support her, help with her school, and be there for her in ways our mom once had. The company gave me time to grieve, but life had to move on. After our mom passed, I made sure my sister had everything she needed. I paid for her books, drove her around, and helped her get through college. It wasn't easy, but I did my best. The pain from losing my mother was still fresh, but I pushed it aside. I wanted to be strong for my sister. She was younger than me, and I had to take on the role of both mother and sister. I kept working as a cleaner, hoping I was doing the right thing by providing for her. My sister eventually graduated and found a good job. I was happy for her at first, but something changed in her. She started to act like she was better than me. One day she said, "You should quit that cleaning job and find something better." I was hurt by her words. I loved my job, but I knew it didn't pay as much as her fancy new job. Still, I had worked hard to help her, and I felt like she didn't understand or appreciate it. I stayed quiet, but deep down, it stung more than I cared to admit. Over time, my sister's attitude became worse. "Look, big sister, I'm doing so much better than you," she would say, showing me her paycheck. It was hard to see her so proud of something that felt like a slap in the face. My job may not have paid as much, but I worked hard. I wasn't ashamed of what I did. But every time I saw her, it was like I was a reminder of everything she wanted to move past. The distance between us grew, and I felt like I was losing her. As the months passed, my sister's attitude got worse. She became more critical, not just of her coworkers, but of me too. "I'm expected to do a lot at work, but my coworkers just don't get it," she'd say. "They slow me down." I tried to talk to her about it, explaining that everyone starts somewhere and has to learn. But she snapped back, "You're just a cleaner. Don't act like you know what I'm going through." It was hard not to feel angry. She had changed so much, and I wasn't sure what to do about it. Things kept getting worse between us. Her comments were cruel, and it felt like she was always looking down on me. "You should just accept your place," she said one day. "You'll never have a better job." I tried to ignore it, but her words stung more than I expected. She had no idea what I had done for her. I was struggling too, but I kept pushing forward. I didn't deserve her scorn. She had forgotten everything I had done for her. The pain of it was becoming unbearable. One day, my sister invited me to her housewarming party. I wasn't sure if I should go, but I thought it might be a chance to reconnect. When I arrived at her new house, everything looked perfect. But when she saw me, her smile faded. "What are you doing here?" she asked. The words hit me harder than I expected. She didn't want me there because of my job. "You're just a cleaner," she said. "I don't want someone like you in my house." It felt like a slap to my face. I wanted to leave, but I stayed. I had to say something. The tension between us was thick. Her words were too much, but I couldn't just stand there and take it anymore. "No," I said, my voice shaking. "You don't get to judge me or anyone else because of their job." She looked at me like I was crazy, but I couldn't let her treat me this way. "I'm done," I shouted. Don't ever treat me like this again. That moment changed everything. I realized that no matter how much I loved her, I couldn't stay in a relationship where she treated me like I didn't matter. After that night, I cut ties with my sister. It was hard, but it was necessary. I couldn't keep being hurt by her. Months went by without a word between us. I focused on my work and tried to move on. But then, one day, I was assigned to clean the building where my sister worked. I didn't know what to feel. I didn't want to see her, but it seemed like fate. The building was huge, and I figured I wouldn't run into her. Still, as I pushed my cleaning cart through the halls, I wondered if we'd cross paths. That afternoon, while cleaning a hallway, I overheard a group of people talking. They were discussing a mistake someone had made, and I overheard one of them apologizing. Then I saw her, my sister, standing there, looking pale as she was scolded. The confident, successful woman I once knew was now just another employee struggling to keep up. My heart sank. How had she fallen so far? I didn't want to look at her, but I couldn't help it. It was like seeing someone you once admired fall from grace. Days later, I saw my sister again. She was with a younger colleague, and they were talking quietly. She looked so out of place, like she was losing control of everything. The confident woman who had once looked down on me was now struggling at work. It wasn't a surprise, though. I had seen this coming. Her arrogance and sense of superiority had finally caught up with her. But seeing her like this still made me feel something. Pity, maybe? I didn't know. But I didn't feel the need to intervene. She had to face the consequences of her actions. Things only got worse for her. She made mistake after mistake. And eventually, she was demoted to a lower position. Her once promising career was now a mess. Her husband came to me, pleading for help to fix things. But I couldn't bring myself to do anything. I had already made my decision to cut ties with her, and I wasn't going to let her back in. She had hurt me too much. I couldn't just forget it all because she was struggling. She had to face the reality of her actions, and I wasn't going to save her from it. My sister's life kept falling apart. The demotion hit hard, and with it came the stress of dealing with a mortgage for a house they could no longer afford. Her life had spiraled out of control, and there was nothing I could do to help her now. I had cut ties for a reason, and I wasn't going to get involved. The damage was done. My sister was no longer the person I once knew. I had moved on, and I was stronger for it. I had built my own life and was proud of how far I had come. Now I'm happily married and managing my own cleaning company. I'm proud of what I've accomplished, and I'm content with where I am. My sister's life, on the other hand, has completely unraveled. She's no longer a part of my world, and I don't regret it. Cutting ties with her was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but it was also the right decision. I'm at peace now. I've learned that sometimes walking away from toxic relationships is necessary for your own growth and happiness. Today, I'm living my best life. I'm running my own cleaning business, and I've built a family with my husband. Despite everything, I'm proud of the work I do and the path I've taken. I've come a long way, and I'm stronger for it. My sister is no longer in my life, and I don't look back. The pain she caused me is a thing of the past. I've learned that sometimes, in order to move forward, you have to let go of the people who hold you back. And that's exactly what I've done.